The world holds its breath as a missile streaks across the desert sky, not a meteor, but a message from Iran. This is more than a military exercise, it's a statement of power, a declaration of intent. Iran's missile program is one of the most closely watched issues in global security. Every test and new design is scrutinized by intelligence agencies worldwide. Why? Because these missiles are a direct, evolving threat to regional stability. For Iran, missiles are a shield, a deterrent against powerful adversaries. For its neighbors in the West, that shield looks like a sword, capable of striking US bases, Israeli cities, and Saudi infrastructure. This capability shifts the balance of power, giving Iran a long-range punch that keeps military planners awake at night. The roots of this program run deep, forged in the Iran-Iraq War, when Iran vowed never to be so vulnerable again. Despite sanctions and sabotage, Iran's missile quest has persisted, driven by a sense of insecurity and a desire for leverage. The technology is crucial, but the intent behind it is what truly matters. Iran's arsenal is the sharp end of a complex geopolitical struggle. It's about survival, ambition, and defiance, woven into the fabric of the Islamic Republic. Each missile test is a headline, each new development a cause for global alarm. The world watches, asking, what are Iran's ultimate goals? What does this growing arsenal mean for a region already on edge? These are the questions that make every Iranian missile launch a global event. To grasp the threat, we must understand the weapons. Iran's missile arsenal is diverse. Short and medium-range ballistic missiles like the Shahab, Fateh, and Ghadr form its backbone. These aren't intercontinental, but they can strike anywhere in the Middle East, creating a powerful zone of deterrence. The Fateh 110 family offers precision strikes, solid-fueled for rapid launch and high accuracy. The Shahab 3 and Ghadr, liquid-fueled, reach farther, threatening southeastern Europe and sending a strong political message. Iran's tiered system ensures it has the right tool for any conflict. Beyond ballistics, Iran is developing cruise missiles, low-flying, radar-evading, and proven effective in the 2019 attack on Saudi oil facilities. These technologies expose vulnerabilities in conventional air defenses. Iran's space program adds another layer of concern. Its satellite launch vehicles use dual-use technology that could be adapted for intercontinental missiles. Western officials see each launch as a step closer to a weapon that could threaten Europe or even the US. The arsenal is evolving. More accurate, more mobile, and more dangerous. That's why every test matters. Iran's missile program is the product of foreign assistance and domestic innovation. It began in the 1980s with help from North Korea and Libya, who supplied Scud missiles and technical know-how. Over time, Iran shifted from importing missiles to building its own, using global networks to acquire critical components despite sanctions. Sanctions made procurement harder, but not impossible. Iran's agents are persistent and creative. The real breakthrough was building a self-sufficient military-industrial complex led by the Revolutionary Guard. Underground facilities and research centers now produce advanced missiles, often improving on foreign designs. This domestic mastery is Iran's greatest achievement, turning foreign blueprints into homegrown power. State media showcases these successes, fueling national pride and projecting defiance. The message: Iran can defend itself no matter the pressure. The result is a resilient, ever-advancing missile program. Iran's missile program sends shockwaves across the Middle East. For Israel and Saudi Arabia, these missiles are an existential threat, capable of striking cities and critical infrastructure. The 2019 attack on Saudi oil facilities proved how vulnerable the region is. In response, Gulf states have invested billions in missile defenses, and even normalized relations with Israel, united by a shared threat. The U.S. military presence in the region is also at risk. American bases and personnel are within range. This reality forces the U.S. and allies into constant high alert, complicating military planning. Iran's strategy is clear. Raise the cost of intervention, deter attacks, and keep adversaries guessing. Every missile test is a political act, escalating tensions and keeping the region on edge. The program ensures the Middle East remains a global flashpoint. Iran's missile tests are calculated acts of political theater. Each launch sends a message: defiance after sanctions warnings to rivals' demonstrations of new capabilities. The 2020 attack on U.S. bases in Iraq, following the killing of Qasem Soleimani, was unprecedented. Iran directly targeted American forces, causing significant damage and injuries. These strikes showcased the precision and power of Iran's missiles. Iran's tests often push the boundaries of international norms, exploiting legal ambiguities in UN resolutions. Tehran claims its missiles aren't designed for nuclear warheads, allowing continued development under a veil of legality. Frequent tests of new motors and guidance systems improve the arsenal's reliability and lethality. Domestically, these launches reinforce the government's narrative of strength and resistance broadcast to inspire national pride. For the outside world, these images are deeply provocative, seen as direct challenges to regional security. Each test deepens mistrust and keeps Iran's missile program at the top of the global security agenda. The world watches, wary of what the next launch might bring. Iran's message: we are ready, and we will not be ignored. The stakes grow with every missile fired. The world's answer to Iran's missile program has been sanctions targeting Iran's economy, military, and technology sectors. Sanctions have made missile development harder and more expensive, but not impossible. Iran has adapted, using clandestine networks and a drive for self-sufficiency to keep its program alive. Ironically, pressure has fueled domestic innovation, making the missile industry more resilient. Diplomacy has struggled to keep pace. The 2015 nuclear deal curbed Iran's nuclear program, but left missiles untouched, a gap critics call a fatal flaw. The US withdrawal from the deal and renewed sanctions have only deepened divisions among world powers. Europe tries to balance pressure and engagement. Russia and China emphasize Iran's right to self-defense. This lack of unity lets Iran exploit diplomatic rifts, playing powers against each other. The result, a precarious standoff, with no clear path forward. The missile issue remains unresolved, fueling uncertainty and risk. Iran's missile program will shape the future of Middle Eastern security. The arsenal is growing, more accurate, more mobile, and harder to stop. Iran's investment in solid fuel technology and maneuverable warheads means defenses must constantly adapt. The biggest fear, a link between missiles and nuclear ambitions. If Iran ever pursues a nuclear weapon, its missiles would be the delivery system, an outcome that could trigger a regional arms race. The world faces two paths: renewed diplomacy, seeking limits on missiles, or continued confrontation and escalation. Both are fraught with risk. Iran's missiles are more than weapons. They're symbols of unresolved conflict and insecurity. Lasting peace will require addressing the deeper political tensions at play. Until then, every flash in the sky will be watched with anxiety as the world wonders what comes next.